Hey guys, it's Allison from AllisonReads.co, and today I have a mini training that I'm super excited for you guys to hear. Today I want to talk about how e-commerce business owners should be using content calendars to be able to increase their sales. This is a really common question because e-commerce business owners have a lot of other things they're trying to do, like acquire more products and make sure they have inventory and all those kinds of things. So if you're an e-commerce store owner and you're interested in using content marketing to get more sales, but you feel overwhelmed on how to get started and how to actually manage a calendar, then just keep watching. All right, so this was a really great question. Another great question that came from my free group, the Mindful Marketing Mavens. If you guys want to join, you can go to facebook.com/Mindful Marketing Mavens. Lots of great things happen in there, like questions and discussion. And so I want to kind of go over, like, if you're an e-commerce owner and you want to use Pinterest marketing, content marketing to actually get more sales and build your audience. Hello, Andrea. Then I want to kind of give you today in this training, like the minimum viable, like what do you absolutely have to get started with it. So the first thing I want you to do if you're an e-commerce store owner and you want to start using content marketing to increase your sales is to brainstorm the problems that your audience has. So knowing who your return customers are, like what are the pain points that you're solving uniquely that other people are not doing a great job at solving. So like the two e-commerce people I can think of off the top of my head, one of them sells bath bombs and one of them sells like sustainable home decor that is ethical and also supports like small business owners like internationally. And so I'm going to kind of go back to those two examples because I feel like they're pretty different. Like one of them is kind of health, self-care based, and one of them is more like home decor based. So brainstorming those problems, like one problem that this person solves, that one person solves, is wanting like a beautiful minimal design that is ethical. That is a problem that you're solving. And so writing blog posts that have to do with the solution to that, which I'll get into in a second, can be really, really helpful. For the bath bomb person or the person who's an artisan creating bath products in general, some of the problems that her audience has are skin sensitivities, allergies, wanting to like have affordable luxury for self-care. So I want you to brainstorm a list of problems that you are solving. And then the next step after that is to brainstorm a list of solutions that you give people. So you obviously want to figure out like, these are what people are coming to me for, and these are the things that I'm actually selling. Once you have those lists of problems and solutions, then you can start brainstorming blog topics that will guide people to your products eventually. So for the bath bomb products, I would probably have blog posts on like how to create a self-care retreat at home. For a long time, self-care retreat, was it self-care retreat? There was a term on Pinterest that was trending for a while that I wrote a blog post on because I was like, oh, this is my niche and it's trending, but that was kind of like along the lines of what that topic was. So self-care blog posts, at-home spa day is what was trending like earlier on during quarantine over here. What else? So brainstorming problems like 10 minimalist design tips would be one for the e-commerce store owner that has the ethical home fashion stuff. So think about the problems that you are solving and the solutions that you are providing. Think about your blog posts that can relate to those topics. And then that's the basis of your content calendar. So when you're creating an editorial calendar, like having updates about your products and things like that is okay for a blog post, but you really want your blog post to be educational and evergreen. So you're using the blog post to gain awareness, and then through that blog post, you want to make sure that you're introducing a lead magnet on your site somewhere. So lead magnet is a free thing that you're giving people in exchange for their email address. For a lot of e-commerce owners, a really great lead magnet is a very compelling discount on their first purchase. But other examples of lead magnets are like, here's a list of 10 things you have to have for your perfect at-home spa day, right? So listing those 10 things, like you're providing a resource that is valuable to them and immediately actionable whether or not they buy from you. But then you can offer the opportunity for them to buy from you to fill up their at-home spa day kit. So those kinds of things make really good lead magnets. So you now have brainstormed your blog topic ideas where you're providing solutions, you have a lead magnet in place. These are all things that you need as an e-commerce store owner trying to use content marketing to make money. The last thing you want to do when you're coming up with your editorial calendar is you just want to research like topics that are being discussed that are related to the brainstorm topics that you came up with earlier, just to make sure people are actually searching for those unique ideas. Okay, now the next step when you're coming up with your content calendar is to decide what you can do. So I think when people ask me this question, they're thinking like, okay, well, you need to have 100 blog posts and you need to optimize all of those and you need to be pinning on Pinterest for 2 hours every single day. And sure, all of those things can be helpful, but consistency will win over talent every time. This is one of my favorite quotes. That quote is inspired by, what is that book called? Atomic Habits. I forget who the author is, but it's a book called Atomic Habits, and the quote isn't taken from there, but it's inspired from that book. Consistency will win over talent every single time. So would it be great for you to have 100 blog posts like every single month? Sure, maybe if they're good blog posts. But what matters more is that you keep going no matter what. This tip applies to so many things, because like another example is people tend to freak out about algorithms and like changes in the market. But the thing is, if you just keep going, you cannot fail. You just have to keep going. So decide what you can do. Like don't just search for blind recommendations on the internet. So let's say as an e-commerce owner, you're like pretty busy, you don't have a team yet. Well, guess what? If you can write one like 2,000 word blog post every single month, that's a pretty epic blog post. But if you can put your energy into a really, really good blog post every single month, it would be really beneficial to you as long as you can do that every single month. If you could do 2 blog posts a month, that would be probably a little bit more beneficial. If you could do 4 blog posts a month, if you can make sure those are all high quality blog posts, that could be even more beneficial. But you have to look at like diminishing returns. Like when I'm creating that many blog posts, am I not sourcing new products often enough? Am I not following up on customer service enough? So that's the balance you have to have with e-commerce is like making sure that your content calendar is just a part of your marketing strategy. The other thing I want to say that I maybe should have said at the beginning is most bloggers, probably all bloggers are really e-commerce, right? Because you're like selling things on the internet. Anyway, okay. So we've covered our bases now. We have a lead magnet. We have a list of blog topics. You've decided what you can do. You have a lead magnet in place, so you know you can grow your email list. So now when it comes to deciding what you can do, you'll start that foundation with how many blog posts you can write per month, because that is probably going to be the most time-consuming, energetically draining part of all of this for e-commerce owners, is like how much content you're going to write. So decide how many blog posts you can write. And then the other things you want to decide how much you can do for are pinning, Pinterest pinning, other social media, like what you want to do on social manually and what you want to do on social media scheduling. So the home decor person that I'm thinking of probably needs to use Pinterest manually because it's a big source of where her sales come from, and scheduling to Pinterest typically isn't as valuable. But maybe on Facebook she needs to be there, it's not as valuable, so she's going to schedule to Facebook. So after you decide how many blog posts you're going to do, then you're going to work backwards from there and decide what you're doing for social media and Pinterest. So even though Pinterest is a social media platform, I kind of put it in its own bucket because in my opinion, Pinterest is for most bloggers non-negotiable. Okay, so other things you have to have though now, like as far as blogging and social media and pinning, you decide what you can do. Decide on Pinterest and decide what social media platform you want to manually use, whether it be Facebook or a group or Instagram or something else. And now as far as like the other non-negotiables, there's 2 other non-negotiables. One is a weekly newsletter. If you're building an email list and not doing anything with it, it's not going to be that helpful for you. Don't overthink your newsletter. It's just a weekly update to get people to hear from you and see you that you still exist. You can email them your favorite product of the week. You can email them just letting them know how you generally feel about life. That is what your email is for, that is like the community connection conversational tool. So don't overthink your newsletter. Make it fun, make announcements, show people new things. Point them to your blog posts if you've had one go live that week. Point them to other people's blog posts if you find something interesting. Don't overthink your newsletter. Just make sure that you have one so that you are top of mind. And the last non-negotiable, in my opinion, And this again is just keeping you on an editorial calendar to help you like maintain your sales and your email list, is to have some kind of special monthly sale. Regardless of the holiday or season, this is just another way to remind people that you have something to sell, to get people excited, to get a boost of sales by offering a discount, all of those things. So just to kind of review, how to establish a content calendar for e-commerce. First of all, brainstorm your list of blog topics that solve problems for your audience. They're not just all about individual products. They're not about upcoming, like we have a new store. Like it's about educational tools that will lead people to your product as the solution. Then the next step is to decide what you can do. Don't Google the recommendations of how much I have to blog to make money with a blog. Just as an e-commerce store owner, think how much content can I create and manage my store well. Then build your editorial calendar backwards from there, Pinterest being a non-negotiable, and then other social media platforms being the negotiable platforms. For Pinterest pinning, by the way, you're going to pin your individual products, you're going to pin to blog posts, and you're going to pin to your lead magnet. You can pin for all of those things. The other two non-negotiables, besides all of that, lastly, are a weekly newsletter and a monthly sale. This just keeps people top of mind. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I see a lot of people hopping on and off. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'll be around if you guys have any questions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.